Good evening, and this is your guy, the DOC, Wayne Johnson, with Doc and Queen Ministries. We're going to learn tonight, especially if you've been married for any length of time, how husbands are to treat their wives. The title tonight is Give Her What She Wants.
You didn't know?
I'll be coming from 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 3. And it reads, the husband should give his wife what she deserves as his wife, and the wife should give her husband what he deserves as her husband. If you notice, the scripture starts out what the husband should do. And being that the husband is the head of the household, he is to lead in the giving process.
Leader? That doesn't sound right.
I got to church early on this past Sunday, and as I was sitting there, I looked up a few of the old clips that I had. And one of the clips that I clicked on was a time that me and my wife were in the Bahamas, and I'm on the beach and she's interviewing me. And she asked me, are you going to float me in the water?
Who, me?
And I said to her, sure, I'll float you in the water. When are we going to get into the hot tub? And she said, no, the ocean water. I said, okay, for how long? And she said, for 10 minutes. I said, well, I'll give you 2 minutes. And she said, no, 10 minutes. I said, I can give you a solid 3 minutes. And so by then, not knowing at the time, me being smug, sitting in my beach chair, that she meant that. And she proceeded to say, well, don't even worry about it. And she was upset about it. But at that time, I didn't realize how important it was to her. You have to also understand this is a huge mistake on my part. Probably a few years earlier than that Bahamas trip was, we went to Hawaii with some other couples. And basically the same thing took place. All the other couples are out there in the ocean and they are floating their wives, and I'm sitting on the beach. Now, in my defense, which there isn't much of a defense, I cannot stand getting into cold water. Not only that, I'm not a swimmer. And also while we were in Hawaii, the day before that, we had went on a submarine tour and we saw sharks in the water. So my thing is, I'm not getting in that shark infested water and floating you for a few minutes for the shark to eat us up. But it was really more about I didn't like being cold in the water. But I needed to recognize how important it was to my wife. One thing I've learned since then is 3 strikes and you're out.
I'm not going to give you another chance.
I already had 2 when it comes to floating my wife in the water. I understand now that it doesn't even matter if Jaws himself is out there. If your wife asks you to float her, then you get out of your seat and you float her. I hope this short message makes a difference in your marriage, because it can be the difference between her being upset and you looking like a clown later on. I thank you for your time, and I hope this was a huge nugget, especially for the husbands. God bless.